Hello and welcome back to this exciting episode, because tonight a certain flat earther who has spent many years working closely with scientists is able to reveal to us all exactly what the dome is made of and how it has been made. This learning has been supported by my wonderful members and patrons. I want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much. Well, the creaky blinder isn't getting any younger. We better get on with it and roll VT. Okay, let's see what Joey Rocha's got for us today. Joey, why are you in your car? Why is it that flat earthers film about 50 or 60% of their videos in a car? If we answered that, I have a feeling we'd know a lot more about the universe. Anyway, go ahead, Joey.
Let's get right into this. Do you think that the Earth is flat? Hopefully you know that the Earth is flat.
No, I don't think the Earth is flat, Joey. In fact, I know that it isn't. And you certainly have got right into it, haven't you? But I understand you've got some proof, which is what I'm really looking forward to hearing.
So if you already know that the Earth is flat, or you're just looking into it, let's go a little further. Do you believe that there's a dome? Well, hopefully you've come to the conclusion that there is a dome.
No, Joey, I don't believe there's a dome. Firstly, because there's no requirement for the globe Earth to have a dome. And secondly, no dome has ever been seen, measured, or found any trace of in all of history. Are you going to tell us otherwise?
An encapsulation, a solid encapsulation that keeps our atmosphere here on this flat surface of the Earth.
Now that's something to remember. It keeps our atmosphere, according to you, it keeps our atmosphere here on the Earth. We must remember that. We'll come back to it.
So what is the dome made out of is the question. Well, I have the answer for you. I've researched this topic for several years. I've worked with scientists such as Eric Dollard and many physicists as well, and volcanists.
Somehow, Joey, I don't think so. You've worked with physicists, etc., on the dome of the Earth, of the flat Earth, no less. I would hazard a guess that those physicists aren't physicists, not if they think the Earth is flat. But again, you've got the answer. You've been studying it for years. I actually can't wait. I'm looking forward to this, Joey.
And much more. To the conclusion, the dome is made out of a blue volcanic glass called blue obsidian.
I would postulate that you had recently just heard of blue obsidian and you pulled your new-found dome theory from your butt. Is that the way it went, Joey? Is it?
In the Bible, in Job 37:18, it says molten looking glass. Well, molten, if you look in the Paleo Hebrew, is referring to lava. So why is Job 37:18 calling it a lava looking glass? Well,
it's just made up stuff, perhaps, Joey?
Let's keep on cutting to the conclusion here, and then I'll get more into details later. So, if you didn't know this already, when lava is cooled rapidly, when lava is cooled off rapidly, it turns into a blue glass called blue obsidian.
Some lava cooled off rapidly can turn into blue obsidian. It's actually really quite rare. It's not all lava cooling quickly, not by a long chalk. Most blue obsidian is actually man-made.
Okay, so also in Revelation in the Bible, it says that the dome or the firmament is a sea of glass. Now I hear some people saying that the Bible also says that the dome is made of sapphire, but that's just not true. In the Bible, it says that the dome appears as sapphire, as it's descriptive, like blue, shiny, sparkly, but the dome itself is actually made out of blue obsidian.
Well, actually, Joe, I don't care. I couldn't give a monkey's, not a fig, what the Bible does or doesn't say. The Bible isn't science, and the Bible isn't evidence. The Bible is a story. It may or may not be right about any particular individual thing, but you don't go to the Bible for your scientific explanation of things.
Here's the proof.
Ah, right. Ready, everyone. We're going to have the proof now. Go on, Joey. Knock our socks off.
So if you take the globe and you flatten it out, instead of having the equator along the central part, it ends up going just inside of the Antarctic circle of ice.
Hold on. If you've just literally flattened the globe like that so that the equator actually goes around the edge, the entire southern hemisphere is then on the underside. So what about Australia? Does that no longer exist? What about South America? I think they'd notice if they were on the other side of a flat plane. Travel would be rather awkward, unless you tunnelled, I suppose.
The ice wall, Antarctica.
Just inside the ice wall.
Well, there's the perfect conditions. You have the ring of fire, which is the lava, the volcanic activity, the lava.
Whoa! Do you even know what the ring of fire is, Joey? It's not just a circle of fire. You don't know, do you, Joey? The ring of fire is where the continental plates meet, rub up, and get pushed under or over each other, and you get lots of volcanic activity and earthquakes and so on. Typically around the Pacific plate, the Pacific area, we get the Pacific Ring of Fire. It's not a circle around the equator. You're thinking equator's hot, Ring of Fire must be hot. The Ring of Fire is the equator.
Flowing, creating a circle of a blue glass ice wall. So think about Genesis from the very beginning.
Well, before we think about Genesis from the very beginning, what you're saying is we got a ring, a complete ring, not just a trail of volcanoes then, but a complete ring producing blue obsidian, lava that's coming out of the ground, and the ice wall is cooling it off quickly, turning it into blue obsidian. I think I can see where you're going with this, Joey, and it's not a good place.
So when the dome was being formed, and as it's being formed from all 360-degree angles, every angle of incidence is all coming up in altitude at the same time together.
So it's squeezing up. It's a rising wall now. Why isn't it just collapsing over? Why is it going up at all? Why isn't it coming through and spreading out and turning into blue obsidian? It's coming out and going straight up. You're about to form a nice cylinder here, Joey. If it's going straight up everywhere, you're going to have a cylinder. You're not going to have a dome.
Eventually falling in on itself at the zenith, at its zenith, right?
Why does it fall in and not out? Why isn't it going up and splaying outwards? Why does it splay inwards, if you like? And if it's bending inwards, the surface area at any particular altitude is going to be a smaller and smaller circle. So either that obsidian's got to get thicker, that shell, or bits have got to drop off, or it's just got to disappear by some sort of magic. But then I suppose magic isn't a problem with theories like this, is it? You can just invoke magic whenever required.
In the center, completing a dome.
So it just seals itself, does it? Let's come back to that atmosphere. You said it's sealing in our atmosphere. Great. So how have we got atmosphere? Before that, a blue obsidian dome created and sealed itself off. Why didn't all the atmosphere rush away before then?
So the dome itself is held together at its final stages with Passion's law.
What, like some sort of super glue?
If you don't know Passion's law, please look it up. So this is a quick video. I'm going to do some in-depth videos. I just wanted to cut straight to the point.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing these in-depth videos, Joey. Since you've been working with many, many scientists and physicists and plumbing merchants and shelf stackers and sanitation engineers, we look forward to the detailed papers written about this.
If you didn't already know it, the dome is made out of a blue glass called blue obsidian. Also, if you wonder why is the sky blue and why is water blue when
Joey, why is the sky blue and why is the water blue?
obviously air is clear and water is clear?
Yes.
Well, it's because if you put water into a blue glass, the water will take upon the hue of the color of the glass that it's contained within. Hi, Ann McGovern. So, for example, if you put water into a blue glass, a green glass, a pink glass, an orange glass, whatever colored glass you put the water into, it'll take upon the hue of the color of the glass in which you put it in. So,
brilliant. So what about the stars and the moon? Did this dome just trap them inside, in which case this dome's got rather a lot bigger? Or are they outside, in which case why don't they all have a bluish tint to them? And the sun as well. Why is it a yellowish orange? Never ever a sort of blue. I don't think that this new obsidian blue glass dome theory of which you speak has been thought through. Has it, Joey? It's something you thought of as you left the house about to get in your car and you've done a quick video.
the volcanic blue glass obsidian dome is a very good explanation for why is the sky blue during the day and why is water blue during the day when they're obviously both clear.
Well, a better idea, Joey, might be that high up is cold, and we all know you get blue with cold, so the sky's blue. There, that's my theory. Chew on that. Suck that up, princess.
The blue glass dome explains that. Also, the blue glass dome explains why we get rainbows. You can't make a rainbow indoors without the use of a prism.
Yeah, and that prism in nature is rain. That's why you get rainbows appear at the time of rain and storms, which is why they have the name rainbow. And the raindrops are the prisms that split the colours of the light. You would be getting rainbows all the time if it was just down to this blue obsidian, crystal dome splitting and causing rainbows. Why aren't they there all the time, 365 days a year?
So what's making rainbows outdoors? The blue glass dome, obsidian dome. Makes sense, right? Also, the dome is
Not really, Joey. Not really.
dielectric because blue obsidian is dielectric. So it explains electricity and lightning.
Oh yeah, obviously.
And just for a little extra credit,
Extra credit. I'm going to do a little bit of maths, which is something I don't particularly enjoy. But after this, I'm going to do a little bit of maths, Joey. I hope I get some extra credit for that. But let's hear your extra credit thing.
the blue glass dome that we're encapsulated in is continuously renewing itself with more lava flow. And
Whoa! So it's still growing at the bottom. So has it now become a cylinder with a dome-shaped top? Or where's all this extra glass going? Where the hell's it coming from? Have you thought of that, Joey? Where is all this lava coming from continuously for, even if we said 5,000 years, forming this dome continuously? Where from? And of course, Joey, why have we not seen this? Why can we not detect this dome with radar or some other detection method? We've been down to, beyond that equator, where this ring of fire apparently is. We've been to the very south, to Antarctica. Still no trace of this dome. I don't think your theory is holding up very well, but do continue.
it's pushing it. So what it's doing is it's creating a complete rotation. The dome does one complete 360-degree rotation per day with the stars attached to it.
What? A couple of problems spring to mind with this, Joey. If you say rotation, since the stars in the north rotate around Polaris, that means your dome's rotating like this. If this lava is pushing up, you're talking about a rotation like that and some sort of sphere dome. And how the hell did the stars get attached to it? What are the stars? How is it that we can see some stars actually move against the other stars? Prime example of this is Barnard's star. Well worth a look at the photo. over a few years, it moves perceptibly. What about star parallax? We can take over 6 months 2 images of the nearest stars, and their parallax, the parallax shows them apparently move against the background, the further stars. How can that happen again if they're all in this dome? And what about the moon and the sun? Still nothing about that, Joey.
With the stars attached to it. And what we call, or what we see as shooting stars, are actually the byproduct of obsidian, which is perlite falling from the dome.
Well, bits are falling off it. And these shooting stars, you do realise that with many of the showers, Perseids, for instance, springs to mind, we know when they're going to occur. Perseids peaks around the 12th of August each year, and it always comes from roughly the same direction, being Perseus. So is that a particular poor area of this dome? And of course, if it's constantly renewing, why isn't that area moving as it's being pushed up? What about comets, Joey? What about meteors? They land and hit the ground. They can be stony, they can be iron. Where does that come into it?
The dome sheds itself and renews itself continuously, just like human skin does.
Oh my. Joey, I don't even know what to say to that. It's so stupid.
This has been a short video.
Thank goodness.
Explaining the basics
of stupidity.
In general, short conclusion of
how flat Earth damages your brain.
The dome, what it's made out of, and how it was originated from the beginning. If you are really interested in this video, I'm really happy to hear that, because I'm going to do a follow-up video explaining what Passion's Law is.
Oh, good.
Explaining more further details about what shooting stars are and how perlite is the perfect reason and the perfect answer for what shooting stars are, and much, much more.
Well, Joey, I can honestly say I'll look forward to that. I don't think I could stand any more of this derp. Let's do a little bit of maths. Okay, so here's the Earth. We squished it flat. Now, you weren't worried about the southern hemisphere, so we're only going to worry about the equator. The equator is 10,000 kilometres from the North Pole. So let's have a look at this maths. Alright, if we want to work out the volume of the material that makes the dome, we can actually take the difference between two spheres, one at 10,000 kilometre radius and one plus the thickness of the dome, and half it. So we've got a radius of 10,000 kilometres. Let's make it 10 metres thick. So the radius for the external face is 10,000.01 kilometres.
I'm going to need your gimbal angles, Jack, before you shut down the computer.
And the volume for a sphere is V equals 4 over 3 pi r floating little 3 thingy.
Houston, our computer is up.
Divide by 2, add 7, add another 1 for luck, times 33.
Stand by, Fred. Now, Jack, we need...
Okay, that gives me a volume for the external face of 4.1888 times 10 to the power of 12 cubic kilometres. And for the internal...
about 8 minutes remaining.
Volume from the internal face, I get 4.18879 times 10 to the 12 cubic kilometres.
Okay, Houston, check me. I've completed these gimbal conversions, but I need a double check of the arithmetic.
Yeah, you can go, Jim.
Okay, we've got the inner sphere with a radius of 10,000 kilometres, external sphere radius 10,000.01 kilometres. We're using V equals 4 over 3 pi r cubed, which gives us an external face volume of 4.1888 times 10 to the 12 kilometres, internal volume of 4.18879 times 10 to the 12 cubic kilometres.
Stand by, we're checking it.
Man, that's crazy. That gives me a volume of the sphere material itself as about 12.5 million cubic kilometres. Then if I divide that by 2, that gives the volume of half of it, the dome, to be 6.25 million cubic kilometres of material.
Looks good, Flag. All right. Good here? He's good, Andy.
Okay, we'll go on those numbers.
Roger, go on those numbers, Houston. So we've got blue obsidian at 2.55 grams per cubic centimetre. So there's 1 million cubic centimetres in 1 cubic metre at 2.55 per cubic centimetre. That's 2.55 million grams per cubic metre, 2,550 kilograms, which is 2.55 metric tonnes per cubic metre. And there's 1 billion cubic metres in a cubic kilometre at 2.55 tonnes each, is 2.55 times 10 to the power of 9 tonnes per cubic kilometre. So for the total mass of the dome, which was 6,250,000 cubic kilometres at 2.55 times 10 to the power of 9 tonnes per, is 1.59375 times 10 to the 16 metric tonnes. Can you check me on that, guys?
Looks good, Flag. All right. Good here? He's good, Andy.
Okay, we'll go on those numbers.
Thank you, Houston. Roger those numbers. So that gives us a grand total of 15,937,500,000,000,000 metric tonnes of blue obsidian that has somehow squeezed out of the ground and made its way into a dome shape several thousand miles high. And that's to say nothing of the fact that that dome, with that weight, is at 10,000 kilometre radius, the equator. It doesn't even cover the southern hemisphere. You total bloody chuff nugget. Now I know where my skills lie and where they don't, and they certainly do not lie in mathematics. So not only did I have the help of NASA, thanks guys, I also had the help of a very kind subscriber, Mr. Dog. Thank you very much for your help, Dog. I did have the method correct, only I screwed up in implementation and made an error. He spotted it and corrected me. Thank you once again. Well, Joey, thank you for sharing this theory with us. I mean, your theory is novel. I'm going to give you 10 out of 10 for style, but minus several million for evidence and common sense. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you all again next time. Until then, stay sensible.
Shut up and sit down.